No. Security is a team, is a joint effort. When you're sitting in the boardroom with the CEO, the CFO, myself, the COO, all of the O's, the C-suite, we're all figuring out how do we protect the business, not just the financial piece of Stephanie's Frisbee organization. How do we protect everything from threats, from regulatory fines? The fines will wipe you out. I'll give you some examples later on. Because fines, at times, will equate to more than what the business is worth. If it's a small business, businesses will have to shut down. All right, here we go again, left foot first. So, what regulatory compliance is the county in line with? PCI, that's all financial stuff, right? Does anyone know what PCI is? PCI is payment card industry data security standard. It's a regulatory requirement. Doesn't matter if you're a small mom and pop shop like Stephanie, when she opened up her one business in Pennsylvania. If you accept the credit card, you have to come to these guys. And these guys are so sophisticated. They have like a laser that they can just tell who's out of compliance. And they focus the laser on you, and they hit the button, and they blast you to smithereens. These guys are very, very, very serious. SSAE, I just spoke about that. But I want to jump a little bit into this last one, ISO 27002. This one here will save your company. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. ISO 27002 is a compliancy that's set for a business that does not have compliance or an information security management program in their entire business. That's what it's for. So now we expanded and we realized that Stephanie is a great entrepreneur, and we made Frisbees and we're killing it out there. And she comes to me and says, wow, Scott, I need something. This is where we're going to point her. But you need ISO 27002 coupled with PCI DSS. ISO 27002 is what every organization should have. Even if you're in the financial services following PCI, because PCI only cares about the financial credit card scope. But what about the people, right? So what if my credit card processing is locked tight? Outside of that in-scope area, I have all my people over here. All of your data is just all over the place. If organizations look at it from a regulatory perspective, you'll lose, and you'll give off the false impression that you're actually doing something, but you aren't. And that's what's called implementing solutions on top of problems. When you don't have the education first, but you still look to implement a solution, thinking that that solution is sound, but you're really implementing solutions on top of problems because you never eliminated the problem. You just threw more solutions that you thought would eliminate it. Is compliance a one-time initiative? Can't tell you how many times I've been asked this question. Compliance is not a one-time initiative. Compliance lasts forever. Annual re-compliance as well. I'll save the last one for later. That's a treat for you guys. So let's talk about compliance being one time. So let's say we use ISO, PCI, doesn't matter, right? We get compliant for 2014. So now 2014, I'm compliant. What happens when I go into 2015? Am I still compliant? Maybe. If that letter says expired on 1/2015 and it's 1/21/15, am I still compliant? No. No, you are not. Let me give you a perfect example. We all have a driver's license, right? When that date on the driver's license says that it's expired, if you're driving the next day and get pulled over, are you legally allowed to drive? No. You got to re-up, right? You got to go back. You got to wait in that long line, because if it expired, you didn't get an opportunity to do it online. You got to wait in a long line. Then you got to stamp and say, okay, you're good to go for another couple of years. Thank you. But compliance doesn't last that long. Compliance is annually. It's not every 3 years because the landscape, the global landscape shifts so much in that what's compliant today isn't compliant tomorrow, right? From a business overarching standpoint. Here's one that I have an example for you guys. Solutions on top of problems. How many, this is an accounting CPA organization, all the attendees, so we all should know what this is. How many of us have heard of QE, quantitative easing? Thank you, sir. Quantitative easing is in a Federal Reserve nomenclature that this is what they named it. What it is they print more money, right? So as opposed to saying, listen, we're in a deficit, we're $1 trillion, we're going to get out of this deficit tomorrow, we're going to fund America, we're going to print more money. That would sound not pleasing, not aesthetically pleasing to the ear. But what they said was, let's rephrase this thing. Let's think about this. We know we need to print money. Let's call it quantitative easing because it sounds easier. It sounds nice. But what it means is, as opposed to $1 trillion in debt, we're 2. We went through QE1, which was just regular QE, and QE2. This is to be determined. That's a solution on top of a problem. Thinking that your department is compliant and the rest of the department is blowing up, that's a solution on top of problem. You're doing a form of QE. You're telling the CEO, I'm telling Stephanie, we're all good. And everything's blowing up. I'm putting solutions on top of problems. I'm introducing a QE. Quantitative easing. It's a game changer. Looking ahead to the light. I always like this part. Now let's put a smile on everyone's face. I've completed my risk assessment, now what? The risk assessment isn't enough. You must designate an individual for information security. So a risk assessment is a point-in-time assessment. Let's not even think about it from an information security standpoint. Let's just think about it from as small as from a car, right? You have an issue with your car, and you take it to a mechanic. What do? Perform an assessment, right? Take a look and say, okay, here you go. You need to fix this. If you don't fix it and you wait until 6 or 7 months later, do you have the same problems? You don't know. You could have more problems. Well, not going to have less, right? You're going to have more problems. And more problems the longer you wait, the longer you wait, the longer you wait. So the risk assessment is really, it should be rephrased to a point-of-time assessment. Because a risk assessment is only for today. Here's what you look like today. Here's what your risks are today. Our business was built with love, right? We don't want it to go to 0 tomorrow because we only took a look at the risk assessment and put it on the shelf. We have to act. We have to do things. We have to mature. We, as people, have to evolve the way that technology evolved from the 40s, right? We no longer do social engineering. It's no longer, well, there's social engineering and there's collusion. However, it's coupled with other things. So we have to evolve ourselves as humans. How long does security last? Security lasts forever. Security's throughout the life of the business. Let's say Stephanie and I said Steph as if we've known each other for so long. But we are in business together. So let's say Stephanie and I, we achieve compliance today. What happens? Do I leave and go away? Because who's going to manage the program? Who's going to ensure that these types of things are being updated and refreshed? The problem with the world is that we never refreshed. We never became a human network 2.0, 2.1. We only make big, grandiose changes. As humans, we'll go from 2.0, and then we'll realize we'll hold on to 2.0 for as long as we can. Right when 2.0 is no longer in existence, then we'll jump off to 3.0 and say, phew, I avoided that one. And that's how we go about running our business. We wait to the end and we jump. Wait to the end and we jump. But these objectives, these initiatives should be handled daily throughout the life of the business. Because if you eject it, it's gone. Let me give you a perfect example. Your banks. Everyone has a bank. Everyone have a bank? Perfect. All your money's in the bank, right? you expect the bank to protect your money. Because when you sign on, tomorrow you want to ensure that your cash is there, right? Because if it's not there, you're going to have a huge problem. What happens if the bank says, hey, you know what, we were secure for 2014. Thanks for coming out. God bless you. Good night. What happens tomorrow, Mr. Bank of America, Mr. Wells Fargo? You better continue to advance the program because these guys aren't. Let me give you another example. How many of us have heard of EMV? Okay. EMV, here's America, we never evolved. All throughout the world, banks are taking a bath. Anyone who's exchanging credit card information, storing credit card information, is getting it all exfiltrated. Just Google it. Google bank breaches, and you'll see it from Staples to Target to HSBC, the Bank of America, you name it. Everyone is getting breached. Some things to think about. Can security improve profitability? I've done this. So now let me ask you a question. Wow, this was a great, the Frisbee analogy hit me on the way coming in to here this morning. This was not planned, but this is working out great between us. So let's say Stephanie wants to grow her business, and she engages Bill. Pleasure. She engages Bill because Bill is a high net worth individual. Bill, you have billions, right? And we turned Stephanie's business from zero, let's give it a nice number, to like 20 million, right? But you need a capital injection to really go into the top, to make it public and become a 10Xer. So now you say, okay, Bill, I need some cash, man. I need at least 100 million. I need you to get behind me. Bill says, great, I like it. I like the product. It works. The market isn't pulling the product. The market is pulling the product, rather. You aren't creating the market for it. I'm going to give you my money, but wait. Bill, wow, $2 billion. That's a good start, right? When they say, so Bill consults with Bill, whom is his chief security officer, says, wait, before we acquire this company, we could be acquiring a lot of risk. Hold on a second. Let's make sure that Stephanie's doing the necessary things in order to, A, protect her employees, because I don't want to acquire this company and get sued tomorrow, right? Next thing you know, I'm in $20 million in lawsuits and litigation, and or I don't want to acquire this organization tomorrow and have Stephanie, we have a breach, we have a credit card breach. A credit card breach is over. It's over. Because how many of us are skeptical now about going into Staples or Target? You put your card in, you're like, oh my gosh. And you swipe it. You're nervous. That's what happens when you get a breach. There's reputational damage. So that's what's going to happen here. So Bill's going to assess. We're not going to come out great. And then the deal's over. Sorry. Or there's a flip side to that coin. If the deal turns out to be great, the exchange is met. He knows that he's adopted zero risk. Wow. Company that's this great, zero risk. They've kept up with their security. They know what compliances they're aligned with. This is a company that I want to take over. All right. Fine. We spoke about this. Fines range from $10,000 to half a million. 10,000 is on the lowest. On the low end, it doesn't get any lower than 10,000. So it doesn't get any lower than 10,000. Top 3 fine is POS, which is point of sale, swipes, credit card swipes, IT vulnerabilities, that's everything, and security presence, not having a security presence. Like Bill here, to advise Bill, and say, hey guys, listen, I don't think we should take this step in this direction, because if we do, it's nothing but it's filled with landmines. Let's not take a step in this direction. 2014 top 3 breaches, Staples, right? eBay. This hurts me to say, because I'm a veteran in the Air Force. The Veterans Affairs. I didn't put on here the White House, Google. I mean, I can go on and on, but it's not that type of presentation. But it's just to let you know that these types of things happen. I want everyone to just take a second and think about what I'm going to say. Staples, eBay, VA, government, and all of the other large organizations, do they have issues with capital? No. These guys are publicly traded organizations. Their market cap is in the billions. They have free cash flow to invest and throw at information security, and they are still getting breached. The United States government, the president, what resource does he not have? He is still getting breached. Think about that. If these guys have cash, it must be another problem, right? They're throwing cash at something, but it's not working. They're doing a form of QE, right? Which is a problem. And lastly, wow, I think I hit it right on the nose. This is a quote by me. A business that doesn't have any ongoing security measures in place is putting their data and customers' trust in jeopardy. As large enterprises have increased their security defenses, hackers have started to target their attacks downstream to small to medium-sized businesses. Think about this, guys, and I'm going to leave you with this. Every time a customer does business with you, they're coming in like this, they're saying, oh, please. They're entrusted that you are going to do the necessary things in order to protect their data. They're doing their part. They're purchasing your product, and they're hoping that you do the rest. Listen, Steph, I want to purchase 1,000 of our Frisbees, but here's my credit card. All right, we're good, right? Sure? All right. So that's, right, exactly. So that's what happens in the exchange of information. That's what happens when a customer does business with you, or when a customer does business with someone that you represent, someone that you're performing services for. This is the type of exchange that takes place. And this is what's in the back of everybody's mind. There's a lady on the bus. I heard her talking about, well, you know, I was going to buy my grandson this shirt, but I looked at the website and it didn't have a lock on the website. So I didn't buy anything. I'm listening to her like, wow, you know, like I should hire her. So again, thank you everyone for your time. I tried to make this interactive. Thank you for our business, right? We're going to go all the way to the top. Thank you everyone. Enjoy your afternoon.